I'm Mistress Graves. Hi, everyone. I am a just chatter here on Twitch. Because I talk a lot. I have a lot of things to say. Most of it doesn't make sense. But I also do music. I'm a singer and a musician. I do a lot of different things. I'm also a mental health advocate. And in the last almost 7 years, I've raised over $20,000 for veteran suicide prevention.
So explain to me how you got interested in singing.
How I got interested in singing? That's something that's been lifelong. I did a talent show for the very first time, first grade. And the few talent shows that I have done, I was always the show closer, which I didn't understand really what that meant. But after my first talent show, people were coming up to my parents and asking, are you going to get her into voice lessons? Are you going to get her an agent? It was something that I always just had a natural ability for. There were professional musicians in my family. So I think that it's something that may be hereditary, but it was just a natural ability I've always had. And then my parents did foster it, and for years, for probably a decade, I was in professional voice and vocal lessons. And I had record labels approaching me as a teenager, but my parents were smart, and I was mad at them at the time, but they told me I could not sign anything until I was 18. I couldn't pursue music professionally until I was 18. And I get it now, after seeing the damage that has been done to so many, young, underage artists and actors and how they get taken advantage of in the industry. But then I stopped, too, for a long time, right before I turned 18. And I wish I would have stayed with it. And then when my dad passed away, I pretty much stopped for everyone. Because that was the thing he was wouldn't say he was most proud of about me, but I think that was something that he was always probably the most supportive of in my life. And it became a very personal thing for me. So I actually did not open myself up back to music until a year and a half ago, when I was asked to be on a singing competition here on Twitch.
Right. And
Yeah.
how did you do in that?
I won my episode and went to the finals. I wasn't supposed to know this, but I won by judge vote and would have won by chat vote if I wasn't up against a partner.
Damn.
Yeah. I was only a few votes away from winning $1,000 for the entire thing. And they had gone through hundreds, I think maybe 100, 150 people throughout the multiple episodes that they had done to get to the finals. So, yeah. And that's when I let everyone know, yeah, I can sing.
Yeah, you can. You're pretty good at it. When I've seen
I'm all right.
So yeah, you're just okay.
Yeah, I'm mid, I like to sing a lot of troll songs. I think that's where I work really well and incorporate it into my stream without boring the fuck out of people.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise I might have been asleep.
Oh, fuck you. Y'all don't be fooled by him. If y'all know Saturday, he's a fucking asshole, all right? I always say this, he may not be able to run, but he can run his fucking mouth, all right?
True. I can't deny it.
It's something I've always appreciated about you. Because you were one of the first people I met on Twitch.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was only a part of a really of one community, and I had made friends with some people in that community. It was French Stallion, and it's the whole reason I met Affiliate and even started streaming, because I met JP French Stallion. I met him off of Twitch.
that's
Someone
cool.
completely, I had no idea he was a streamer and I had no idea about Twitch metrics or anything. So I didn't know that him averaging, 300, 400, 500 people was like a big fucking thing,
Right, it is.
But yeah, it is. It's a big deal. He's been doing this for 10 years now. And he learned guitar like starting on his stream. Like he started with Rocksmith and that's what he still uses, but it like he looks like he lives in a fucking Guitar Center now. It's insane. But those were the only people I knew. And then Ant hit me up to be on the round table, and that was the first time I met you, was that night.
Okay, cool. I was gonna ask if it was through Ant.
Yeah, I remember being on there with you and like feeling bad when people would talk over you, but now I don't give a shit because I know like you'll just fucking talk shit in the comments later. Like,
yeah,
you come into my stream and you're like, what the fuck is this shit? You love giving everyone shit.
Yeah, I do. And well, if I can give someone shit, I better take it back.
Yes, yeah. I wish I could say the same. I try to do the same, but I am a person that people don't realize is actually like I'm really sensitive. And so like most of the time like I can take it. I can take it and I can give it, but like there are some days where you might catch me where a bitch is like a bit more emotional than usual and like I start crying.
That's just what streaming does to you. It just puts you in that mindset.
Streaming has kind of affected my mental health a little bit. I won't lie. So like sometimes when I go live, I'm in a more like it makes you feel more vulnerable, especially being live. It's so different than doing YouTube or TikTok where you can edit out like the emotional parts of, yeah, it's more scripted, it's more planned. Even if something happens when you're recording a video, you can still edit it out. With streaming, it's all live and you can't really take that back. Like you can not publish the VOD and, make sure there's no clips or something, but you can't take back what other people see of you. And so, I tried for the longest time to never show like the mental illness that I suffer from. And then some things happened in my personal life that also crossed over with Twitch that I ended up having a couple breakdowns live on stream, like a number of them. It's been hard to separate real life from streaming. And so while I had more so of a character, I think when I was developing who I was as a streamer in the beginning, I've decided to embrace more so like the character, but also make it a little bit more authentic and more towards me, because I don't want people to think that I'm happy all the fucking time and I'm always this like ray of sunshine or I don't give a fuck or, like, because I do, and so like I've had to go back and think about why I started streaming, and it's allowed me to continue being vulnerable with my community, which I think my community would like to say that they enjoy my authenticity and my vulnerability. Like, now granted, I've had to learn how to be like relatable depressed versus just depressing depressed. There's a difference.
What is it?
Depressing depressed is just crying on stream, like over shit that's happened, and just like I can't have like, and everyone's in the chats trying to cheer you up, and I'm like, but it doesn't matter, but I've learned how to be relatable depressed, which is like I laugh through the depression while I'm live and talk about it, and it makes people feel they're like, oh shit, like I feel that too, and they like understand it more. And I get it. This is a platform for entertainment and to try and escape whatever you're going on, whatever is going on in your personal life, your real life. So they don't want to watch people just cry,
right?
So I've had to make it more relatable and understanding while also
Mhm.
it's been like this delicate fucking balance trying to find how to be relatable and
Yeah, it's not easy.
authentic. It,
It's
it,
not
it
easy at
really
all.
really isn't. No. And it's been really 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 hard. Um but I don't want to hide that side of myself either, because I lost my father to suicide
Mhm.
and he suffered silently. So
Mm.
yeah, I don't want to suffer silently, and I want to be open about it when I am, because like I want to show people that like life still goes on and you can still push through. Like yeah, it can
Right.
fucking suck and you can feel like your world is ending and
Mhm.
have bad days, but you can still push through. Not everyone
Yeah.
has great days all the time.
Mhm.
Like I can't
So,
imagine what like big streamers who have to like hide that shit go
yeah,
through, you know?
I can't imagine. It must be just like, just exponential. Just that
Yeah, like
feeling.
think about like Aiden Ross and stuff like that. Like I'm not a fan of his, don't get me wrong, right? Not
Yeah,
a
I'm not either.
fan. But you know, especially what happened recently on his stream. The musician that was on there for like 6 fucking minutes and made it awkward. You
Yeah,
know that he turned that, you know, like like he pressed stop streaming when he did. That dude was depressed as fuck.
I bet. Yeah.
You know, like but he showed it a little bit by saying, you know, you know, I'm sorry guys, I really tried, but that's
Right.
not his brand. He can't show him being fucking depressed or sad because he's supposed to be this fucking big tough alpha, you know,
Right.
male or what the fuck ever, you know. So like
Mhm.
I just can't imagine what that's like.
Yeah, right. It's like having those, as many viewers as he has. There's so many people just watching him. So if he does something that shows vulnerability, it just takes away that uh, branding, like you're saying.
Yeah, the credibility to like his brand and his character. And then granted it is a good marketing tactic in the fact that like it like when he if he does happen to fail or you know or slip up or whatever, like people leak that, he gets more views just from haters rather
Yeah,
than people who like him, you know. That's not how I want to be. I don't want to be famous simply for having haters,
right.
for
Yeah.
being a hated person. And I know people that are absolutely okay with that. Like when I was on Zerko's podcast, God, that was a nightmare.
Oh yeah, I forgot you were on that shit.
I try to forget.
Yeah.
It
It's a
was
nightmare.
terrible. It was
Yeah.
like because I was streaming while I was on it and I couldn't like have anything up on my screen and show, you
Yeah.
know, the waiting rooms or anything. But it like because I'm a female, I was and for some reason I was the only female too that didn't get an introduction because someone interrupted me during it to call me a fucking
Right.
knockoff Billie Eilish or some shit like that.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then I got muted for the rest of the time there, and it was over half an hour that I was muted for like for saying one sentence,
Yeah.
and
It
I
is.
just left. I left after being in the waiting for like 2.5 hours.
I don't blame you. Yeah.
I was like, this is a waste of
Then
my time.
I was in the waiting room for a few hours too. It's like, whatever. His community is pretty toxic too, which sucks.
It's wild though because the person who talked shit to me, like that said the first thing, like they obviously played a character on stream
Yeah.
because we were in one of the waiting rooms together and they were nice to me in the waiting room. And the second I come on there, they're immediately attacking me.
Right. Uh,
And
that's ridiculous.
when yeah, and when his producers hit me up originally to be on the show, I didn't know who Zerka was. I took pride in the longest time for not knowing who any big streamer was because it doesn't fucking matter to me. Like,
Right. Yeah.
I live in, the Austin area, so like if I happen to meet them, I wouldn't like fangirl over them either, but I was made to think by the producers that I was requested to be on, and I wasn't, like, they never said anything about like a 2-hour long waiting room. I had no idea. No idea. And I even told his producers I'm not interested in coming back on.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It sucks.
And that probably burned a bridge, but it's a bridge that I don't care that I burned.
Right. Yeah.
Because they wanted me back on. They said Zerka liked me. How? I said a fucking sentence. But I do know someone that knows him, like, personally. And I think she tried to vouch for me, I think is why they were trying to like get me back. So, but I was like, it's just not my vibe. I want to be able to have time to speak, and I'm not about supporting a very like misogynistic, like stream like that.
Right.
It's just not for me.
I mean, think about it this way. You don't really want to be known as that person. At the same time, it's like, maybe you would have been so much more larger if you stick with it, but at the end of
But is that the people that I wanted to be, like, who would I have developed into as a streamer if that had become my audience? I did, however, there was someone who I don't know if it was like, because production, you never know what they do.
Yeah, you don't.
But I had someone come into my stream and someone else's stream, and we were two people that were like sitting there like, what the fuck, the entire time. And they donated, like they gifted me like 10K bits, and the other person they gifted like, I think it was like 25K. And and their message with both of them was essentially like, down with Zerka, he's like a piece of shit. But it could have been a way also of like, continuing like that hate and stuff like that of his brand. It could have been producers paying me for my time on there. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
It was, exactly. But this person was going around to people who didn't act like total pieces of shit on this show, as far as I was aware. I don't know if it was anyone else, but like, I do know of me and like that person, we both got donated to after just leaving.
I think I was there that day. I can't remember who it was.
I had a really large viewership. Like it was probably the largest natural viewership I had received. In general, I was like triple digits just saying on Zerka's podcast,
Oh, nice.
And people were listening to what was going on in the waiting room and in the stream, and they were just like, what the fuck?
Right.
They were shocked that these were the like things coming out of people's mouths. And then I even got hit up by Neon Sniper Panda after that.
That's who it was.
I hate him. He's creepy. I literally, like, he was trying to get me to go out to LA to be on his podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And
he is kind of weird. I'm not
like, I did ask like more information about it and stuff, but then I started asking around, like, with other people, be like, what do you know about him? The few like VODs I've seen, because I didn't know who the fuck he was before that, I got very date rapey vibes.
Jeez.
Like, I'm not kidding. Like, that was a legitimate fear of mine if I were to agree to go. Yeah, so it's something that, like, I'm glad he didn't follow through with, because I wouldn't have followed through with at all.
I can see that now.
Yeah, and I've had
like to be shitty.
Mm-mm. Yeah, people do like to be shitty, and he likes to bring on like OnlyFans girls and shit like that just to argue with the like fucking Zerka style people.
Right.
And I'm not about that. It's such a
You're
waste.
right.
And I think he realized too that I'm not like playing the bimbo type. And I'm not putting down someone who does play that. I'm not at all. But that's just not me. And I think that's more the type of girls, like if you look at, you know, his stuff that pops up, that's usually the type of girls that he has on.
That's his persona.
I don't even know if that's a persona, if you want me to be honest.
I don't know.
Like,
Yeah.
it kind of seems fucking genuine to a point. So that's was scary. Yeah, and you know, he has sponsors and all this shit, and I'm just like, apparently, like, from what I've learned from meeting some really massive streamers, like when I met XQC and stuff like that, like, I'm not saying he's a piece of shit. I'm saying, like, but like, a lot of that, the people that are the biggest streamers are surrounded or themselves are pieces of shit, but they're surrounded by pieces of shits. And it seems like that's the only way to get to the top is to be controversial, be, you know, out of pocket, say fucked up things, do fucked up things, because that's what gets the views in live streaming.
Which sucks. But that is the reality.
And like, there's so many things that I could fucking say too. Like I could literally out so many big streamers for things that they've done. Like they say, not like knowledge is power. Well, I've got a fuck ton of power in my hands, but I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
You know, like that's.
I get that.
Like I would rather be a smaller streamer and have people enjoy what I'm doing, just being me, rather than being a fucking drama spreading asshole. Like I don't like drama. I don't like being involved in it. The one time someone tried to quote unquote cancel me, I wanted nothing to do with it. So, and that actually affected my mental health as well. Ironically, it was about having a mental health Monday when I got banned unfairly.
When did you get banned?
I've been banned twice. I got banned right after TwitchCon 2022 during a mental health Monday morning stream. I was fully clothed. I was wearing like a hoodie like this both times, and I got reported and taken down midstream for sexual conduct. Because I'm not a partner. They like the first one, they never checked my ban appeal. The second one, I got the boilerplate message that it was remaining intact.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's frustrating too, because there have been times that like I've accidentally said more, you know, questionable things and stuff like that, or been a bit more out of pocket, but like the days that like I just happen to have good viewership while live in the mornings and fully clothed, that's when I get fucking banned.
Weird.
Dude, people are weird, and that's why, you know, I was telling you that you know, the shit that DOMs, you know, and I'm not even active as a DOM anymore, but we get attacked simply just for who we are. Like, just because of the name. Like, they see the name and they're like, oh, this is gonna be an easy fucking target, or fuck this bitch, or fuck this slut, or like, the messages I get while live are insane.
So explain to the viewers that don't know what a DOM is.
So a DOM or dominatrix is someone who professionally is paid for dominant services for submissive clients. Usually these clients tend to be have have really niche kinks and fetishes that they either can't find someone to fulfill them, or they are too scared to be open with the people in their lives about what they're into, and so they hide it from
Right.
pretty much everyone in their personal
Too
life.
bad.
It's sad, but at the end of the day, people, especially with how things are nowadays, like with the society built on a patriarchy and stuff like that, they feel like they have to hide these things, or they feel like they're going to lose
Yeah,
everything.
which is unfortunate that we can't just show our true selves without being judged.
Yeah, it is, and it's sad, and it makes me sad, but also at the same time, there are people that they just enjoy having the two separate aspects. They,
Right.
like
Makes
that's why
sense.
they don't want it to ruin their life, because
Right.
they enjoy both lives.
Mm.
I just couldn't personally imagine separating my two parts of me from
Right.
each other. Like, I am who I am, and I even with streaming, I still kind of have to separate part of myself, which sucks, but I couldn't
Yeah.
imagine doing it to that extent.
Yeah, there is a lot of stigma around like different things. Like say in the Middle East, you couldn't even think about doing anything like kinky, lack of a better term. Which
Really?
yeah, it's horrible.
Even if you're married?
Um, I'm just saying, like, if you end up like being gay or whatever, you could be
Yeah, you
killed
can
for
be
that.
killed. Yeah. Yeah, I do know about that. I've had online some customers, some clients from Middle East all the way over to, probably like
Hmm.
Southwest, Southeast Asia and stuff like that,
Yeah,
where all of that, a lot of it is still very stigmatized and
it's
illegal.
shameful.
Yeah, I know.
It shouldn't be, but
It shouldn't
yeah.
be, but ironically, you want to know the holy land for dominatrixes to work is Dubai.
Oh, um, I can see that it's more Americanized than
It's not
other
just
countries.
that, it is incredibly illegal to be a dominatrix there.
Right.
Like, you could definitely face a lot of jail time, even for bringing in sex toys or a
Yeah.
personal one into the country.
Mm.
So it is still stigmatized there, but it goes to show that there are these very powerful, prominent people that those are the ones that tend to be clients, because they want, like, they're in charge of so much, they have so much power that they want to
Right.
have a moment or two where they don't have that power, or they're, punished
Hmm.
for it, or whatever and stuff like
Right.
that. And it's if I didn't have children, it's probably something that I would have pursued at
Hmm.
some point, but the fear of jail time is just a bit too
Right.
much for me.
Yeah. That would
And
suck.
I am, yeah. I mean, imagine being arrested and fucking, Dubai. I couldn't deal with it. So
Hmm.
again, I'm retired from it now, so it's not really a concern that I have at this point. But I do know DOMs that have had to find several ways through, like, incredibly rich clients that could pay off customs people and stuff like that to get
Hmm.
their gear into the country, to be able
Right.
to be safely in and out of the country. There's a lot of paying off of officials.
Damn.
Yeah, like, there's even dominatrices that are directly, like, born and raised in Dubai, but they wear the veils to cover
Hmm.
their faces,
Yeah.
especially if any photos and stuff are taken, because they don't want their identities to be
Hmm.
revealed. They're out of fear of retaliation. And for them, it's probably even harder, because not just legal retaliation, but familial as well. They would bring shame to their family.
I mean,
That's sad.
yeah, it is sad.
I
Those kind of
think,
people, they have the power, so they can do it.
eh, yeah, but I think dominatrix work is really essential. People don't look at it that way, but there's always going to be a need for it. And if people don't have that outlet, you don't know the lengths that people will go to be able to satiate the appetite for that need.
Right.
So you kind of just have to okay, I'm trying to phrase this correctly. It is just a very like needed profession.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, especially during the pandemic, Instadoms on Twitter became massive. Findom was discovered by people trying to make a quick fucking buck, and they are not practicing it ethically. They have destroyed people's lives. They've done things that are not like consented to by their clients and stuff like that. And it's ruined a lot of people financially, psychologically, ruined people's lives. I had a client that someone found out their identity and tried to blackmail them. Yeah, there's a lot that can happen, and then just like for the clients and stuff like that, Instadom's really ruined it. And it is a very like I always said Dom sub confidentiality really was like doctor-patient confidentiality, or, you know, lawyer-client confidentiality, because it was really necessary for the safety of like every party involved.
Yeah. And some people, they want that separation, like you were saying earlier, because
they really do.
It can affect their career if someone finds
their
out.
lives. A lot of them are married, have children and stuff like that, and they have this side of them that they're like, well, like I can't live without exploring this side of me.
Right.
But I also like don't want to lose everything that I have.
Right. Makes sense.
So it's interesting. There's I can't tell you how many hours I've spent studying sexual psychology. It's thousands of hours that I put like work into it and stuff like that, because I wanted to do it right when I got into it. I wanted to do it ethically. Yeah, I did my research. I didn't just like, I wouldn't, when I first started, I definitely would not take on clients that had requests that I was not knowledgeable about. And then I will say most DOMs, I feel like while they can cater to pretty much anything, they find niches. Every DOM finds a niche that they're probably best at. And I found mine, and that's really where I preferred to stay within. I did take clients that did other things, but I also had hard limits. That's another thing people don't realize about DOMs is they are allowed to have hard limits. I had someone tell me once, you're not a real DOM if you have hard limits or things that you won't do. And I said, no, I am, because there are 3 different practices of DOMing, which is SSC, prick, and rack. Basically, SSC is safe, sane, and consensual. That's what I practice. Then, you know, prick and rack, one is like, basically you're aware that there's risk of like permanent damage, mutilation, you have no say, and, you know, they agreed to all of this beforehand. You know, you will do whatever you're told, and not question it type shit. And then there's like in the middle and stuff like that, where like you're aware but don't want certain things to happen, but if it does happen, you'll accept it. And I definitely stay within the SSC, because some of the requests that I've gotten have been extreme.
I mean, it's for your safety. As well.
Yeah, there and my own mental health. When
Right.
I was doing it full time, I would have to take breaks, like for a couple months at a time. I was
Oh,
making good enough money to be able to do that, but it is so exhausting to not only be dealing with your own life and your own personal stuff, but also be in charge
yeah.
of the mental, psychological, and physical well-being of someone else or
Right.
multiple someone else. So
Right. What's the interesting story when it comes to that? Like
to
story
dom
that
like
you're
to
comfortable
doming,
sharing.
I don't share too many because there are things that are hard to keep within TOS. I'm trying to think of. I will say I did a podcast, like for a porn company, and
Oh,
then somehow later ended up for one of their films being the videographer for
oh
a
okay.
porn shoot that night. And that was actually really fucking wild because at first I was like, man, I don't know if I can just like take this seriously of two people like doing this right in front of me, you know? But then when I like was just like looking through the like had the camera and shit, it was like, it's not like they were, you know, it's not like it was penis and vagina in front of me. I was all like, all right, no, you got to angle it this way so we get better light. Like, and it's like, it went to show like how unsexy like making porn is.
That's funny.
It really was. And I think it showed definitely like the more human side to me in general, not even just kink wise, but like to any sex worker. Cause like, what, you know, in between the breaks and stuff like that, you know, there was the female talent. I was friends with the male talent, and the female talent had flown in, and we were sharing photos of our children, like in between while she was naked and stuff, you know, like it was so fucking funny to go like, she needed to cool down. She was sweating too much, so they had to take a break, and then they go back to doing it. Like after talking about like being a mom's like, oh my God, this is, you know, this is something that I deal with as a mom, and then go back to like fucking like and like me recording it. Like it's
That's pretty funny.
but it also shows the duality of humans, which is something that's
Yeah.
like heavily interested me in general since becoming, you know, or you know, even though I don't do it now, like, but having done dom work is people are multifaceted. I really like the example of yin and yang,
Makes sense.
because that goes to show that what
Makes sense.
yeah, that's really how people are. Everyone is multifaceted. They have multiple sides to them. That's why you can't necessarily always judge people based off the one side that you see, because they may be one thing to you, but there's something else to someone else.
Right.
You know, so like to me, that girl was a porn star. That's how I met her. But to her son, that's his mom. To her mom, that's her daughter. You know, like they live very, and like each sides of those, like you are a different person. And so,
guess
I mean, it follows into kink too. So
I guess it's something you don't really think about.
it's not something most people think about. And
Right.
I'll be the first one to admit, like, I also was like the type of person who like heavily kink shamed before I got into that. But I didn't understand. And that's where, like, when I see people who kink shame, I understand their mindset simply because I used to be them. A lot of it also comes from shame of their own desires.
Right. And I would think it's the shame of just their environment or their family or whatever it is.
Yeah, like I grew up Catholic. And there, you know, Catholic guilt's a very real thing. And I was very uneducated about sex and sexuality and stuff like that. And granted, I grew up with pretty liberal parents, but having been forced to go to church for like my entire life and stuff like that, it like up until I was 18, it fucked me up. It fucked me up. Like, for instance, I have a story for you. I was in youth group. I was a teenager. I think I was like 16 at this time, 15 or 16. And the church I was attending at the time sent out previously in the mail like letters to the parents asking, it was a permission slip for their child to participate in sex education in the Catholic Church's eyes. And I told my parents, you better check no, because they're only going to teach like abstinence and shit like that. And like, that's just not wrong. Like, I was old enough to understand that abstinence, like teaching that, does not work. Right. Like, I was in an area that was so heavily like it's Bible Belt, and there were 8th graders coming into freshman year pregnant, so it was like insane. But I'd missed youth group the week after that. And then the following week I went, and they had started the sex education program at youth group. And I got there the day that like I came back after having missed a week. And my poor parents, they were volunteering that night too in the kitchen, helping like cook food. But the kids that were there, the other teenagers, they showed me their sex education books. And it wasn't books, it was workbooks. And what it was it was asking questions like, have you ever had gay thoughts? Have you had premarital sex? Have you ever masturbated? Have you ever watched porn? And I was fucking appalled because you answer these questions and turn it in to the youth leaders.
Jeez.
It's not like it's even private. Like, they go through and check this shit. So they came up to me and they were like, hey, let me get you yours. And I was all like, no, fuck no. My parents checked no. This is disgusting what you're doing. And I was like, fuck this. I got up and walked out after telling them like, fuck this, I'm out. And my parents were stuck in there. My parents were still there. But I will say, I do think like while they were a bit embarrassed, they did support my view on that, that it was invasive and fucked up, and it was made to continue that Catholic guilt. So it just it was but to go and I will say this, I should have known I was going to end up a dominatrix. This was this was hardcore foreshadowing for my, I think it was 16th, 17th. I don't know. It was like 16 and 17 or 17 and 18 for Halloween those years. I couldn't figure out what I was going to be. My mom suggested dominatrix. And I was in dominatrix for 2 Halloweens in a row because I spent like $100 and something as a teenager in my own money getting the outfit together to like look like one, and but like within teenager like rules and stuff like that. But it was just foreshadowing as fuck.
I guess. Yeah.
I had no idea. I had no idea that I would end up doing that professionally. That's just, and it's funny too because a lot of people don't know what a dominatrix is. When I told people, like when they would ask me like, what do you do for work, and I'd say dominatrix, they'd be like, I don't know what that is, or what is that? Right. And the fact that my mom knew and told me, and I knew at a young age what a dominatrix was.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up in a really confusing household. Like, it was real fucking confusing. It was like hyper religious, but then like, where would you want? But then like, if I had sex, you slut. Like, it was a weird upbringing.
Jeez.
Yeah, but I've been able to overcome the Catholic guilt associated with all that stuff over the years. I became more comfortable in my own body. I'm in my 30s now, so I've had time to process a lot of those emotions and feelings of guilt and, oh, this is wrong, or like I didn't know how to express the things that I liked personally to my partners. I will self-admittedly say I was straight up like a fucking pillow princess or a starfish for the longest time because I was so uncomfortable. It just felt wrong to me, but it was how I grew up. It's what I grew up around, you know? So, and not even just my parents growing up in the South, a very, conservative state. So there are a lot of things that just kind of influenced that. Like I was slut shamed all throughout high school.
Yeah.
I started at a new school. I had only had sex with one person ever. These people didn't know me. They didn't know anything about that. But the second I started, a rumor started that followed me into adulthood that I had herpes.
Jeez.
I had friends, close friends, like even after high school, be like, hey, like, come on, you can tell me, like, do you have it? I had one person like accuse me of giving them fucking herpes, sharing a cigarette with me. We didn't even have sex. I shared a cigarette with it. And the dude had a cold sore 8 months later.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, totally. Like I fucking popped off on him though, and like my parents knew his parents. It became like a big fucking deal. Like, how dare you? Like, just because he was like, hey, he texted me and was like, hey, what's up? And I was like, oh, not much, about to lay down for a nap. And I put my phone down and I went down for a nap. And he texted me during it saying, oh, I'm just wondering, like, was it true, like, that you have herpes? Because I have like a thing on my lip now, and we shared that cigarette like a while back. And then I didn't respond because I was napping. And he's like, I'm gonna take your lack of a response as you do have it and you gave it to me.
Oh, jeez.
I woke up and lost my shit on him. Like, I told that dude off to the point where he was like, I'm so fucking sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please don't tell my dad. Like, it was, so growing up in an environment like that, where even like at school, people just assume things about you and slut shamed you, even if you really weren't doing anything or anything different than other girls were doing,
What do you think
it's unfortunate.
What do you think causes people to be ashamed of these things? Because it's so natural, it's in our nature, so why are we ashamed of it, do you think?
I think it's how we're raised. How people are just like, we don't talk about that stuff, I got pregnant on birth control really young. And it wasn't even until after I had my daughter that I started like fully understanding like my own like cycle, when you can get pregnant, shit like that, because I was raised in an environment that really did not heavily teach us about shit like that at all. And it, like, just lack of education, lack of openness, lack of people normalizing it. And so that's why, me being a mom, I want to be sex positive in regards to the way that I raise my children. I am very open, like I have a child that's, starting puberty and stuff like that. And I've had, an age appropriate sex talk with her and stuff like that, and want her to know that she doesn't have to feel uncomfortable with any questions. I talk openly about certain things to try to show them like, hey, like, we're good, like, mommy's never gonna judge you. So like, I just like, there's just things that I kind of want to reinforce, because I grew up really fucking confused on what I could tell my parents, what I could talk about, things like that. So it's really hard for a lot of people when they're raised with one type of thinking,
Mm.
and then they feel guilty later on when they're like, oh, I'm realizing a lot of these things about myself or whatever. That's why there's like so many people too that come out later in life as gay or kinky or whatever. I have a friend who I've known since I was 17, and he was hyper religious when we met. Like, he is a musician who sang nothing but secular music, and like all about God, all that. Now he's heavy into the kink scene. His long-term partner is a non-binary AFAB, and they have 2 children together. They have literally named their children X and Q to keep it like gender neutral and stuff like that. They don't like to use the words like daughter and son. Now they want them to, it's not like they're trying to press onto them like, you know, oh, you need to be queer, you need to be non-binary. It's more they just want their kids to make that fucking decision without any outward influence.
Makes sense.
But he came from, he's Nigerian, so his family, that was really fucking hard for them to accept.
I bet.
They even asked his brother, like, is he gay? Does this mean he's gay? You know? Like, even though he was with a person that's assigned female at birth and has a vagina because they identified as non-binary, they had no idea what that meant.
Right.
So it's but it goes to show that you can unprogram yourself, you know, from those things if you want to.
Right.
But a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't feel the need to do exploring like more on their mentality in regards to sex, and they just think they're right, or they blindly follow what they were raised on.
Right. And I think partially religion is to blame.
It's a huge part.
Stigma. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah, they make you feel guilty for having sex, or they make you feel guilty for, you know, being gay, or for, you know, like all this stuff. And I will say, while like the current pope has also said some pretty like controversial shit, he has also stood up for the LGBTQ community in certain circumstances where, you know, he said like, you know, gay marriage is allowed, like we should allow it and stuff like that, or at least say, I don't know if he said gay marriage, but he did say like we should welcome gay parishioners, you know, like LGBTQ, like we shouldn't shun them because of that.
Right.
So like that is probably the first pope ever to have said anything along those lines.
Right.
And while I don't expect a pope to be 100% liberal and progressive, that is probably the most progressive you'll get of a pope right now.
You're not wrong.
He was a solid pick out of probably all the options we had, which were probably none of them were probably any better.
Yeah. It sucks. It really does, just to have that stigma.
It does. And like Butterfly said, like, who has time to hate? Like, our lives are so short, and we all have lives that are so complicated, and we deal with so much outside of just anything sexual involved, or, you know, gender identity. Like, there's so much that we deal with outside of that. Stress about money and bills and like whatever else. Like, it's why add to people's stress? And again, this comes back to like my mental health advocacy, because you never know what someone else is going through behind the scenes.
Look at me. I'm just sitting here in my bed. Just imagine what I have to go through. Someone has to
I couldn't even imagine
everything.
what you go through.
Yeah. But I don't really have much choice. So.
And it seems like you've accepted that, and you're just like, all right, this is where I'm at. Take it or leave it, bitches. Like,
I used to not stream with with a camera because it's just for the longest time I was just like, why should I show it off? Like, why should I just show off that I'm just in my bed here just doing what I want to do? And one day I said, just fuck it, I'll just show who I am. I don't want to
And I think that it's something that makes you interesting as well.
Right.
Like, you know, because if I met you, you know, you didn't have a cam on or whatever, I'd just be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I think I met that dude Saturday or something like that. It does make you memorable. And I'm sure like you've definitely gone through
Yeah.
times in your life where you were fucking like super depressed about,
Yeah.
you know, being bedbound and having muscular dystrophy. So like I like that you more often than not like have this incredibly like positive approach about your situation. But you are older than me, so this is something that you have gone through a really long time.
Mm-hmm. You're trying to say I'm old?
Yeah.
Thanks.
And huh?
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. Wait, did I fucking what did I say?
No, nothing. Nothing.
No, I forget. The ADHD is strong. Did I fuck up, Cruzy? Did I fuck up? I'm asking Cruzy, my mom, in the chat. Oh, he is old. Yeah. He is old. I don't care. He's older than me, so he's old. All right. Look, I'm old too. I don't feel like it mentally, but I'm old. I don't feel like I should be in charge of raising tiny humans and having a mortgage and responsibilities. Yes, I know.
Welcome to being an adult.
You're lucky though. You get everyone like bringing drinks to you and shit.
Yeah.
Like everyone serves on you hand and foot, bitch.
Yeah, got my whip and chain.
And they don't do it fast enough, just fucking yell at them and stuff.
Yeah.
I have a question. I know someone else asked this, but I don't think we got a clear answer. Have you 100% all of the time been bedbound, or were you at some point in your life when you were younger able to be a bit more mobile?
Yeah, the muscular dystrophy is a progressive disease. So I used to be able to walk around all that. Maybe like around 8 or 9, I started to lose my balance and unable to walk. So since around like 11 or 12, I've been using a wheelchair, a power wheelchair. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it in that photo of you with your girlfriend going out.
Yeah,
get it?
Picture, huh?
It is. Y'all are a cute couple.
Thanks.
You deserve happiness, and that's the thing. Like I think a lot of other people don't realize too is like dating when you're disabled and stuff like that is probably a lot harder as well, because it's very like surface level, and a lot of people probably don't take the time to like try and get to know you on that level.
Right. Yeah.
Really so that's gotta be rough.
Yeah.
You're appreciative of your girlfriend?
I am, of course.
She seems amazing. The fact that like that doesn't even faze her and stuff, you know?
No, she is pretty smart too. I love her for that.
You got a smart woman? Why is she with you then?
I have no idea.
Like fuck if I know, dude.
Yeah, for real.
It's that massive cock, people. You just know. Exactly. You just know.
Yeah, that's why I'm disabled.
I think I've seen some like interable couples on like YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I will say I think there's someone that I saw that has muscular dystrophy. And they said like the one muscle that was not affected was their dick.
I can confirm.
You can confirm that's the one that hasn't been affected. That's wild though, that like your muscles are atrophying and it is a progressive disease, but that's the one that doesn't affect.
I mean, not yet.
Not yet. But I mean, that's a problem most men deal with, or
Right.
most penis owners deal with at a certain age.
True.
See, the perks, exactly. Just the perk. I'm sorry, that shit was funny. Yeah, no, it's I look
Exactly
up to you for I wouldn't say you're sunny and positive disposition because you're an asshole. But
Oh, thanks.
the fact that you can make light of you're welcome. I'm just being honest. But the fact that you can make light of your situation and you don't sit there and be like, oh, like, woe is me, it's fucking pity party, you know,
Yeah.
like I appreciate that about you.
Appreciate that.
Shit, I wish I could do that, you know. I had to learn how to walk again a few years ago, and how that alone affected my mental health. It was severe. So like seriously, so many fucking props to you for being like doing this your entire fucking life, and
Yeah.
like just accepting it for what it was, because I had a hard time even dealing with something that was just a couple years, you know, of my life, but it
Was
felt
an
like forever.
accident? Or what happened?
Yeah, it was an injury. And I it was the dumbest injury, but it just like I happened to hurt myself in a way that shredded the cartilage underneath my patella, my kneecap, and it caused extreme neuropathy in my lower limb. I could like it would go numb, it would swell up. I was having trouble walking, bending. I had to have multiple surgeries.
Yeah.
And like the second one, I was bedbound for 6 weeks and could not
Jeez.
engage my muscles, couldn't flex them. I couldn't bend my knee. I had to reprogram my brain to remember that the muscles on that side existed. We had to use like electrostimulation to get my brain to recognize that my muscles were there, because if I would step down,
Wow.
my quads and my glutes, which are like literally what is the power for when you're walking, that's what like locks and engages everything and makes sure you don't buckle your fucking leg the wrong way and shit. They weren't flexing when I would step down, and they'd also atrophied to half the size. So like my right leg was literally like, okay, for instance, my thighs, you see how they like have shape to it, right? This one was like just straight.
Damn.
Yeah, like it was definitely half the size. It atrophied really quickly, and so I see, like that was when I learned how quickly muscles can atrophy too from like no movement or engagement, because it's 6 weeks in a bed and my muscles shrank that much. It was, yeah, I have a photo of it somewhere too where you can see the size difference. It's insane. And so it was rough, and it was an 18-month recovery. I broke my leg during it because my muscle didn't engage when stepping down at one point. It was hard. So like I give you props for doing this your whole fucking life. And I fucking ended up in an outpatient like mental like health facility to deal with the depression that was stemming from having lost my mobility and shit at I think it was like 27, 28 when this injury happened. And it was depressing not being able to be active with my kids like I wanted to be, and be as engaged and do all the things I wanted to do, because I had been used to being a very, very active person.
Right. I mean, just it puts you into a perspective that I don't know if you can really like explain it.
You can't unless you go through it. You can't.
Right.
Like no one else is like they're not gonna understand. They can only just kind of sympathize with it.
Yeah.
But it can put you in a fucking dark place and cause you to ask those questions of like why me? And mine wasn't even permanent, you know? Like I still have like permanent like after effects from the injury. I still deal with pain, but nowhere near your level. But I do feel like because this took up 2.5 years of my life, of my 20s, you know, and my youngest child was just over a year old when it happened. So I feel like I lost out on a lot of his childhood from it. And yeah, there was a lot of things that affected me because it just sometimes it feels unfair, but it's made me who I am now to have gone through that. It's one of the many traumas that have shaped me. But and I feel like it's the same with you. Like that's made you who you are.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much of a choice I have, so
It's the cards you've been dealt, dude.
Yeah, just have to learn how to deal with it.
And it seems like you have, like, you make, you know, so many, you know what, everyone, you talk shit to everyone on Twitter too, but you know everyone, and you know, like, you have made a lot of friends online, and I think things like that make me really grateful for the internet in general.
Right.
Because otherwise I think it'd be really hard. Like if internet did not exist, can you imagine how hard it would be for you to connect and make friends with others?
Right. That was not even 100 years ago, which is crazy.
I know, not even, like literally, like God, like 30 years ago, this would have been really hard.
Yeah.
And I think people don't realize that, like, the internet is kind of your life. And so I hate that saying too when people say, oh, get over it, it's just the internet, because it's also many people's lives.
Yeah.
This is where our friendships, like, groups are. This is, you know, especially during the pandemic, I think more people understood being isolated and needing, you know, social interaction because we are social creatures as humans. We're not meant to be alone. And so I couldn't imagine having, you know, muscular dystrophy or any other, you know, thing that gets you, that allows you to be like bedbound and not having a way to make friends, not having a way to stay in contact with people and have conversations and socialize.
Yeah, like not even a month ago, I had to deal with not having internet for like 2 or 3 days. Luckily, I had a lot of pictures and like memories on my computer, so I took a look at that. Maybe realize what I've done in my life. I've done plenty.
Yeah, and I mean, even though, and it's also cool because you have a really supportive family, and like you couldn't go to TwitchCon San Diego, your sister went for you. You know, like that's fucking amazing. That's really awesome of her. Now, granted, you know, she's in that area, so it wasn't that far of a travel for her. But still, that's like, yes, it's the thought. Like, I don't know anyone that would do that for me. So, like, and you said you're also the fun uncle to your like nieces and nephews and stuff too. Because I've seen them over there before and stuff like that, hanging out with you. And so I imagine all the shit that you've been talked to and stuff like that. I'm sure you like troll them too.
That's how it got so savage.
That's how you got savage?
Yeah.
They trained you? They trained you well because you are fucking savage.
It can be, yeah.
You can also like be a really nice person though and understanding as well. Like, um, and with so this is something that a lot of people know, a lot of people don't know, but I don't come off as autistic. However, I am. I got my diagnosis officially just over 2 years ago, right before my 30th birthday, and so I've had to learn again the duality of people,
Right.
like I kind of talked about previously, because I used to take that one side so seriously
Right.
of people, if they were assholes to me and stuff like that, and not understand that it was trolling
Yeah.
or stuff like that, and I would get like really, really hurt. So
Mhm.
like I've had to learn to be a little like accept the savagery from people in general.
Yeah. So going back on the topic of streaming, so what got
Mhm.
you started? Like, yeah.
I Again, I was in French Stylings community, and him playing guitar made me miss playing. And I will say my stream has kind of veered off into something totally different than what I expected it to be,
Mm.
because it was going to be like me gaming, me all this. I started streaming because I was so stuck in either the identity of being a mom or a dominatrix. I didn't have anything for me.
Mhm.
And I had gone through a divorce and all this. I was trying to find who the fuck am I? And I wanted to do something that made me happy. And then I ended up
Mhm.
streaming and then accidentally fucking pigeonholing myself and just
So,
chatting, because now when I play games, people
right.
are shocked that I play games, and I'm like, bitch, I have a Gears of War cog tattooed right above my tits. Like, you gotta be
Yeah.
shitting me.
Right.
Like the amount of people that ask me, like, hey, mistress, do you game? And I'm like,
Mhm.
really? Really?
Damn. So,
Yeah.
what were your expectations when it came to streaming originally?
Just having fun. I took none of it seriously. And I think that's what made me successful at first. But then when I started being exposed to kind of almost the darker side
Mm-hmm.
of streaming, I started questioning a lot, like, of what I was doing. Even though it was working, I started becoming more of a recluse and stuff like that. And then I realized once I started streaming too, I couldn't talk about this side of my life to any IRL people because they don't understand.
Right.
It's a whole different language talking about Twitch.
It is. I mean, people are more understanding because of the whole pandemic.
Oh yeah, and I will say, like, Twitch helped kind of give back my faith in humanity.
Mm.
Because I was really down at that point and had been interacting with some of the like worst fucking people on the internet,
Right.
and was in a really dark place. And I saw a lot of kindness and stuff on Twitch. And now, granted, it's also, after giving me faith back in humanity, it's also made me question humanity at the same
Right.
time. Like, it's so fucking weird to feel like two different ways about it. But at this point, like, I try to stay in my own lane and do my own thing. And I'm trying to also find the consistent joy that I used to have all the time when I streamed. Because I remember I would say, like, I'm taking a week off for mental health, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't even make it a day or two without doing a secret stream, like, and now, like, I'm in like, this is the downside of being a streamer. It's like, I'm in desperate fucking need of a month off to address a number of things in my personal life and my mental health, but I don't have the savings for that.
Right. And then on that point, it's people will forget about you. That's just the reality.
Every day I don't go live,
streaming.
every day you don't go live is the day that someone forgets about you. that you don't
Yeah.
become part of their like routine and stuff like that. And unfortunately, with like how much is going on in my life, I can't guarantee every day that I have the mental capacity that evening to stream, because I don't like streaming when my children are awake,
Right.
or when they're here, you know. I'm very protective of them, and they deserve privacy and security and safety.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
They are your
and
children.
yeah, they're mine. I'm responsible for them and their mental health and
Yeah.
well-being, and I don't want them exposed, especially when they're like too young to even consent. Like,
Mhm.
I'm not trying to put down streamers who like stream with their kids and stuff like that.
Right.
But at the same time, I feel like their kids are not old enough to understand like repercussions of entering social media and the streaming world really young.
It's really dangerous.
It really, really is. And like, cause like I've seen, you know, a number of like mother-son duos streaming, or, you know, whatever shit like that. And if that makes them happy, if it makes them happy, that makes them happy. It's up to the parents' discretion. I just personally
Yeah.
disagree with that.
And
Like, cause like they're young, you know, 8, 9, 10 years old. They don't understand the permanence of the internet.
they don't.
I hate
So-
family vloggers and stuff too. Ugh.
Yeah. It's
Don't even
weird.
get me started on that. It's fucking weird.
I mean, I get it. They want people to share what their lives are like. But these are still your children. You have to respect that.
And you have to protect them. That's your job as a fucking like parent. Yes, they are tax write-offs. Yes, they are.
Or this.
Sorry, I saw Jay say that in the chat. I have my dad's friend. He we actually went to a concert. It was like a fucking Amy Grant concert or some shit like that growing up, and they had a bunch of military wives like bust down from the nearest base who got to talk to their husbands who were deployed live on stage in front of like fucking tens of thousands of people. And we didn't know this was gonna happen, but we happened to know one of the people because I'm a military brat. And we happened to know it was one of his best friends. And the first thing he asked his wife was, "How are my tax deductions?" He's talking about sons.
Oh my God.
In front of like 30,000 people. That was the first thing he said.
That's hilarious.
Shit was hilarious. I have a whole list of things that people have their kids.
Yeah.
This started off as me posting in a like elder emo like kind of group on Facebook years ago. And I posted in there that I was watching Wreck-It Ralph with my crotch goblins, all right? And it went two very different fucking weird directions. And ended up with arguments of someone supporting like Nazis and eugenics and calling me a breeder. It was fucking wild, bro. And but then also people were people were going off on me saying crotch goblins is something that's used by aggressively child-free movement and stuff like that as a like derogatory term. And I was like, I've never heard of it that way. Like all my mom friends have used it and stuff like that. And so then it ended up with people like also supporting me with their what they call their kids. So I have a short list here of what people compiled. Crotch fruit, crotch goblins, big oopsie, walking birth control billboard, vagina fruit, fuck trophy, sexually transmitted dependent.
Oh, jeez.
That one's my favorite, to be honest.
Yeah.
Tax deduction, spawn, semen demon, coochie critter, vagina fruit, crotch fruit, fully baked cream pie, cum pet,
Jesus.
crotch dropping, mutant, tiny dictator, fruit of the womb, Demon Spawn, Vagina Reaper, and Screaming Tax Credit.
That's hilarious. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, as a parent, I find it hilarious, but like, it's so funny how I was just like, oh, I saw Sunny Moore, or aka Skrillex in Wreck-It Ralph while watching it with my crotch goblins, and it turned into like fucking breeders and like, this is why we need eugenics, and then it's like, why are you calling your child a crotch goblin? That's fucked up. And it just went so many different directions. I was like, I did not mean to start any of this.
Welcome to the internet.
It was wild. Yeah, I know, but it's like, it also goes to show I got pregnant on birth control really young with my my oldest. And if I wouldn't have stepped up, there would have been people who talked like mad shit, for not taking care of my kids or getting an abortion or whatever. I stepped up, and I still get people talking mad shit. It's like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't type shit.
Yeah. You never know what you should or shouldn't say. So,
you really don't. So, like, at this point, that's why, again, like, I'm kind of circling back around to saying, like, I just keep being authentically me. Now, they are something that I don't really include in my brand. I don't even like talking about them, like, an excessive amount. Like, I mentioned to people I'm a mom, and for the longest time, for like almost a year, a lot of people didn't even realize that I'm a mom. But I try to keep them separate from my stream and from my brand, because again, the whole reason I started was because I was stuck between being a mom and a dominatrix and had no personal identity.
Right.
So, like, while I enjoy that there are some people that know about it, I more so talk about it in my Discord and VCs and stuff like parenthood. But live, I try not to talk about it too much, because also that's another thing. People get bored as fuck hearing about kids sometimes.
Right.
They're not there to hear about my fucking like sexually transmitted dependence.
Right.
It is hard to not mention that you're a parent if you love it. It is, but for the first year, I really just wanted a separation of the two, because it's like, during the day I was mom, during night I was mistress. There was no Ash. There was no just me. And so I think that's why my stream has just been like kind of this big ball and jumble of fuckery and chaos and nonsense, because it's fun to me.
Right.
And I think it's really representative of my personality.
Right. Like you said earlier, it's part of your branding. So. Yeah,
it's like the name and the wall decor behind me may insinuate that it's like a sexual stream, but it really isn't. I think that's the funniest part about it, especially when people come in and call me a whore and slut and stuff like that. And it's like, it's been a year since I've had sex.
Jeez.
Oh, it's depressing, but I'm also like, I'm very picky and choosy, and I want to be, in a relationship or have like feelings with someone before I like move forward with that.
Right. Makes sense.
And I think that shocks a lot of people.
Yeah, I think I can see that as a shock.
Especially as me being like, as I'm sexually open too. I talk about like my sexual preferences sometimes. Because people are curious, but I like to tell people that there's a difference between like being a dominatrix and your personal life.
Yeah.
Because people assume that like the one person I dated while being on Twitch, everyone assumed when we started dating that they were submissive. And I warned them that might happen. And it did. People made a lot of jokes about them being a sub or whatever and stuff like that. And because that's just what people assume about me.
Right.
People make a lot of assumptions based off things.
Yeah.
And that's why I
Very
wanted
true.
to show a face behind the job.
Yeah. Thanks. Really appreciate that. And do you have any questions for me?
None that I can think of right now. I think I asked you the one earlier that I was pretty curious about as to if
Right.
you weren't bedbound. I do know, about your girlfriend and stuff like that. I know you're Egyptian.
Yeah.
I feel like, throughout the last 2 years, we've kind of slowly gotten to know each other a little bit.
We
And,
have.
here and there we learn a little bit more and more. So, um, I don't think I have any for you right now. I mean, like, I wish you could play FPSs. I wish your fucking, laser, fucking could get good. But
Yeah, I suck.
it is what it is, because there's another member of the community that I'm in, Haikiri, who's disabled, and I don't know if he has CP or something else. He uses the control, like the accessible controller pads and stuff like that to do FPSs and stuff like that, but I know everyone's like limitations are different. And if you're using an eye tracker, that's probably because your hands are not as usable. I felt bad for laughing at that, but I feel like I'm accurate. Sorry, I laugh when I say dumb shit. I'm an awkward person.
Are you? I never knew.
I'm very awkward. I'm a weird person. I'm awkward. Been bullied my whole life. If that tells you anything. So I've always been weird, and people expect something different when they look at me because I'm this like tattooed person who's into makeup and stuff like that, and then they like get to know me and they're like, oh, this bitch is fucking weird.
So tell
I'm
me about
serious.
your tattoos. Do you have any interesting stories?
Well, I mean, I have a potato chip one here, potato chop. That was a sub goal. It's in memory of hitting my highest concurrent sub count a year ago,
Oh, wow.
ever. I broke 1100.
Jeez.
I had one night where they broke me, and it was like over 700 gifted subs and like $1,000 plus in bits. I hit a level, I think I hit like a level 22 hype train.
Damn.
Recently too. Yeah, I hit a level 22.
Damn.
Yeah, it was insane. And then this was before, the level 22 was after, but like my highest concurrent was before they had the like uncapped levels. So I don't know what that would have translated to, but it was insane.
I bet.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to think. I don't know. This arm it's so funny because it's kind of Catholicism based. It's the 7 deadly sins. But I'm not religious, so I don't really attribute it to being related to like being raised Catholic. It's more I like the idea of the 7 deadly sins and stuff like that. I have an like a sugar skull R2D2. Or sorry, I have a C3PO on the back of my leg. My best friend has a sugar skull R2D2 on the back of her leg. So when we stand next to each other, they're hanging out. I've got a lot of like random ones. I've had some cover-ups and stuff done too. I have some quotes that I love as well. Like I have an Ayn Rand one, which is do not let the hero in your soul perish. I have one from Grimm Fairy Tales, which is, for me, there are neither locks nor bolts whatsoever I desire is mine.
Cool.
And then the cog, the Gears of War cog on my chest, that's a memory of my dad.
Oh. How long ago was that?
How long ago did he kill himself?
Yeah.
March 30th will be 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I miss him every day. I go through a range of emotions a lot. When you lose a parent who left by choice rather than like a prepared sickness or even just an unexpected death, it is a lot different. You're left with a lot more questions.
So bad.
And
sorry about your
it's
loss.
okay. Character development, it's why I'm so funny, you know, like, but it is, my son wouldn't exist if my dad hadn't passed, because I grief married my piece of shit ex-husband and ended up with my son. You know, so I got my son out of that, and I see how my life would not be where it's at without that having happened. But there are definitely times that I wonder, like, what my life would be like if he were still around, and I do wish he could be here.
Yeah.
I miss him a lot, and he wasn't my biological father. I tend to just let people believe that because it's a lot easier than explaining like I was adopted. But also, people just always thought I looked like I could biologically be his, which is funny because he is Hawaiian, Samoan, Pacific Islander, Korean, white, Portuguese. I'm literally wearing one of his old hoodies. Living in Texas with Hawaii roots. He was born and raised there. So, yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I look like I'm fucking half Pacific Islander or whatever, just white as shit. I really do. I have dark hair naturally. So people always thought like I just looked like my mom, but got some of my dad's coloring.
I was gonna say my sister, she married someone Hawaiian, and they
really?
They had 2 kids. Yeah.
I bet they're beautiful. Let's see it.
Right.
Yeah, this is a picture of me and my dad. You can see how fucking dark his
Damn.
He tanned really easily. But yeah, he was, I don't know, if everyone thought I was his, I think I may have shown you the picture of my bio dad next to Ferris.
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't look like my bio dad at all. Thank fuck. Oh my god. Dude looks like a Duck Dynasty ginger motherfucker. All right.
Damn.
Yeah, no, he's ugly. I'm taller than him too, so.
Do you want to answer Jay Cyber's question?
How do you come up with content? I think that's the problem I have. I don't want to be that person that does the gaming and have no content, if you get what I'm saying. All right, so I actually go in with 0 plans every single time, Jay. If I go in with a plan, I end up actually having anxiety if it doesn't go according to said plan, because I do suffer from OCD. So that's also a lot of times why I have anxiety, because I'm not sure what I'm doing. Most of the time, especially if I'm in a good mood, I can let the ADHD train of thought kind of like lead me into things, or the chat as well. They can bring up certain things and it can spawn off into a whole stream. But for me, my content is more, I think, just like the back and forth between like the people that I have in my co-host, or the random like things that I say, or you know, my troll like screens or my pop-ups. I make it more interactive.
You do. Which
yeah, and it's because I want people to feel like they're a bit more involved in the stream, because they are what make my stream at the end of the day. I don't think I could just survive sitting here and just talking and like doing nothing, you know? Right. So I want people to feel like they are involved.
I mean, I don't really script too much. So it's like I have a frame of mind that I want to do a certain thing. Like, you know me, I play Minecraft and that's what I do.
That's your
So,
thing. Like
yeah,
that's your thing on here is you're known for doing Minecraft.
right. I'm trying
Modded, of course. Modded, of course.
of course. And I got to do this for you.
Yeah, right now I'm currently
that's hot.
trying to train my
That's
chat
hot.
to get used to me playing games. I don't do it all the time because while my stream is all like, oh, well, you know, do whatever makes you happy. And I'm like, okay, well, I want to play games. And then the fucking viewership just like dips. And it's like, fucking assholes. Like, you know, like it makes me happy to make them happy. So a lot of the games that I play on stream, I try to make them ones that like I can still look at chat occasionally between. So like Fortnite is a little bit slower, so I'm able to catch up on chat a little bit and like while I'm still playing. Power Wash Sim, like random things. Sometimes I'll do other stuff. I am going to be learning new games on stream taught to me by other like streamers and players. So like Phasmophobia is one, Dead by Daylight's one. There's a bunch of different ones that I'm gonna be learning to play soon. But again, the idea of planning content gives me anxiety.
Is it like the perfection?
Yeah. If it's not going the way that I want it to, it's kind of it makes me depressed and discouraged. And I think that's something that a lot of streamers deal with.
Right.
And I'm the type of streamer who I keep my view count up. But for a lot of people tell me not to, but here's why. I like to see my viewer count because the more people I have in my stream chatting or viewing, the more energy and confidence it gives me in what I'm doing. On the days where it's lower, I feel like off, and especially when like there's lower chatting and stuff like that, I don't feel like I'm in like streamer mode, streamer zone, something like that, you know, like I'm like being my best streamer self. And I know when my view count is going to be low. I can feel it based on how I'm feeling when I go live. And so those are also days that I just don't stream long because I don't want it to affect my mental health as much. But I am definitely fueled by like how many viewers I have and stuff like that. So the more viewers I have, the more hype I get, the more excited I get, the more energy I get, the more interactive I get. And you know, but it's very much a double-edged sword because when it's low, that affects me as well.
Of course, yeah. And I'm the opposite. I like to have that number just off. I just try not to really think about it.
I think being a just chatter for me, I want that like confirmation that there's people there that I can like try to pull out of lurk and stuff like that, you know?
Right.
Because if I don't have someone to like talk to, what am I doing? You know, like fuck, like I'm just talking into the void.
Right.
So it can be frustrating sometimes for sure.
It was a good chat with you and learned about you, and same you learned about me as well. So appreciate that.
Oh, no problem. Anytime. I'm glad I could do this.
I like to make this a regular thing that I interview streamers. That's why I call it Beyond the Screen, because, well, you get to know who the streamer is. Behind the screen.
Yeah, and this is a lot of stuff that I don't necessarily like openly talk about on mine. I mean, I'll mention it and stuff like that, but I don't go into depth about a lot of these things. So it is cool too.
It's been fun, guys. Really hope you enjoyed your time here.
Thank you for having me on.
See.